All right, children, welcome back to AP Macroeconomics with everybody's favorite teacher, me, Mr. Fritz. Today we're going to talk about automatic stabilizers and the government budget. As we begin, there's a couple things we need to remember. First, the government's budget is made up of mainly two things. Tax revenues, the money that the government's receiving in from taxes, minus government spending and transfer payments, or checks going out like unemployment benefits. Second, automatic stabilizers are non-discretionary fiscal policy, things that have been written into law in the past. There's nothing that the government actually has to do to get this to work. They just automatically start working if we go into a recession or an inflationary gap. If we fall into a recession, they automatically kick in, things like unemployment benefits go out, and we start pulling ourselves back out of that recession. And then vice versa, if we're in an inflationary gap, they automatically kick in, tax revenues start to go up, and we start coming back out of that inflationary gap. All right, so right now we're talking about automatic stabilizers, how they work, and how they affect the government's budget. First, we're going to start off with what happens in a recession. So here I've drawn a perfect aggregate supply, aggregate demand model. We're in long-run equilibrium, and let's see what happens when, consumer confidence falls and aggregate demand decreases and shifts to the left. We end up in a recession. To the left, everything you own in a box to the left, because we're in a recession and we lost our job and now we live in a box. Okay, so the price level goes down. We're not really worried about that, but what we are worried about is that the unemployment rate is going to go up. Aggregate demand is decreased, so real GDP is decreased, and now unemployment is higher. So how is this increase in unemployment going to affect automatic stabilizers? Remember, automatic stabilizers are things like transfer payments and tax revenues. So transfer payments, let's focus on unemployment benefits. Now that we've fallen into a recession, the unemployment rate is higher. People are going to qualify for unemployment benefits and start receiving them. So checks are going out. So the amount of money going out from the government is increasing. At the same time, now that the unemployment rate is increased, tax revenues are going to be decreasing. Fewer people are going to be receiving paychecks, and so income taxes and things like that are going to be decreasing. So remember, the government's budget is going to be your tax revenues minus the money that's going out. And so right now, tax revenues are lower because we're in a recession. And at the same time, unemployment benefits are increasing. And so those transfer payments are going to be going up. So less money's coming in, more checks are going out, and now we're ending up with a budget deficit. The government doesn't have the money to pay for this, and in order to get it, they're going to have to issue bonds and borrow in the loanable funds market. Now let's see what this would look like if we went into an inflationary gap. So same thing, we're starting out in long-run equilibrium, and now maybe consumer confidence has increased, people are out buying more stuff, aggregate demand is increasing and shifting to the right, and now we have a higher price level and an increased real GDP and a lower unemployment rate. Our unemployment rate has gone below the natural rate of unemployment, not the end of the world. But this increase in the price level and inflationary pressures will be something that we would hope to correct. In an inflationary gap, the unemployment rate's actually going to be going down. And so unemployment benefits and other transfer payments like that will actually be decreasing, and fewer checks will be getting sent out by the government. At the same time, our tax revenues are going to be increasing because more people have a job, income's up, prices are up, tax revenues are going to increase, more money is going to be coming into the government than is going out in transfer payments like unemployment benefits, and we're going to end up in a budget surplus. So this is going to put the budget in a surplus, and at the same time, that'll start pulling that aggregate demand back toward the left as people are getting taxed more and there's fewer transfer payments and things like that. So that's been automatic stabilizers and how they affect the government's budget. Join me next time when we talk about more macroeconomics. Goodbye.